So, manufacturing and distribution company Derrimon Trading reported record-breaking revenues of $9.5 billion for the 6 months ended June 30, 2023. So that's not even for a whole year, that's 6 months revenue. So what contributed to this amazing performance and what are their plans for future growth? Let's find out from Derrimon's chairman and CEO, Derrick Cotterell. Hi, Derrick.
Good evening. How are you?
I am great. It is good to see you, especially under such amazing circumstances. Congratulations on your record-breaking profits.
Thank you.
So for those who don't fully know what Derrimon does, give us some background on the company.
Well, you kind of said it. Derrimon is a manufacturing, distribution, and also retail company. We have several manufacturing companies: Caribbean Flavor and Fragrances, Spicy Hill, and Arosa. Those are and Woodcats, of course. Those are our main manufacturing companies. And Derrimon Distribution is our distribution company. And we have two retail brands, Sampars and Select Grocers.
Well, talk to me about these recent acquisitions, Spicy Hill Farms and Arosa. Did they have anything to do with your super amazing performance?
Yes, those companies came in this year. Well, we started them last year, towards the middle to the end of last year. Also, our new store in Maypen, Select Grocers in Maypen. So those three helped with the performance. And I also forgot to mention our wonderful acquisition in New York City. So for
Yes.
those who are joining us from New York, we have Food Savers, New York, soon to be Sampars, New York. We're just going to go to some rebranding later this year, early next year, so that we can leverage the strength of the Sampars name there. So those are, those new acquisitions along with the existing business, because we did get some improved performances from the existing business that contributed to an increase in our revenue for 2023 over 2022 year to date.
That's amazing. So I do remember that acquisition, was it last year, I think, in New York? So now have
It
Sampars
was
gone abroad.
2021.
Oh,
It was
gosh, it's that
2021.
long. Time is moving
Yes, it's
super
that long.
fast. Time is moving
Yes.
so fast. Yes. So all of our New York viewers, let me know if you've been to soon to be Sampars, New York. Where in New York is it?
It's in Brooklyn. It's near to the Brooklyn terminal. It's 402 East 83rd Street in Brooklyn, Canarsie, right next to the Brooklyn terminal. Beautiful store is called Food Savers. Um, and you can get all the Jamaican Caribbean foods there, along with some African products also. We do also service the African diaspora in New York.
So how is that supermarket doing? Shelly Ann wants to know.
It's doing pretty good. We have gotten excellent response. We stock a lot of stuff here from Jamaica, and like I said, from Africa. It's kind of a world store. We bring stuff from UK, we bring stuff from other Caribbean islands. So the customers are pretty happy with the offerings, and we are bringing in some new items, particularly from our own brand, Delect. Beefing up the inventory there, giving people exposure to really excellent quality products. Our coconut milk and our coconut milk powder is a rave. It has more coconut than any other product on the market, and consumers are responding very positively to it. And also mackerel has more mackerel in the can than any other product on the market. So those are just some other products. We also have some unique products like our cordials, our sorrel cordials, our ginger beer cordial, our fruit punch cordial concentrate, and also we have it also in the flavor of pink lemonade. Everybody loves the pink lemonade, and so those are some unique products that are doing very, very well for us, not just here in Jamaica, but also in New York, and we're exporting even further to Cayman and some of the smaller islands in the Caribbean.
That's awesome. So remind us what the other two companies do, Spicy Hill Farms and Arosa.
Okay, Spicy Hill Farms is its main products. It's soups. So that Manish water soup, authentic Jamaican Manish water. Spicy Hill Farms is who came up with that idea and still have the authentic product. Then there is a Ram It Up, which, as the name suggests, it will turn your curry goat into a ram goat treat. So even if you buy a she goat, we can ensure that you get the real ram goat taste by using the Ram It Up. And I'm happy to announce that we have started a new product. We have introduced a new product, which is coca noodle soup. It is an excellent product. It has nothing artificial in it. It's all natural, from real chicken to all natural ingredients. No artificial coloring, no artificial flavoring. It's an all natural product, and it is really delicious. We debuted it at the expo, and we had lines at our booth just to taste the soup. It's now on the market, rolling out slowly. You'll see it in your favorite supermarket and wholesale. You can try it. It's an excellent product, and that we haven't gotten much revenue from that because we just started that product in June. But we're doing production now, and our product will be out, and it will be in New York soon.
And it's made in Jamaica?
Made in Jamaica, right here in Jamaica, at our factory at Spicy Hill Farms. And Rosa is primarily a meat producer. We process meats. We do sausages and hams, and we do a lot of specialty sausages. The previous owner, Mr. Robert Erner, is Swiss national, no Jamaican. He has been here for over 40 years, so he's really fully Jamaican. But he brought over from Switzerland some really original recipes. So for your real gourmet type products, Arosa is the place to get those products. And also, regular Frankfurters, we have a wonderful flavor product. Our products are really of high quality. We also do wines at Arosa, and this company mainly services food service, which include restaurants, hotels, etc. So, we're now playing in that market. We were primarily through our distribution company just doing wholesales and supermarkets, but now we're doing stronger food service into the hotels through Arosa.
So the past couple of years have been quite challenging on the supply side. So how has that affected you at Derrimon?
Well, we have managed to stay ahead of it most of the time. There is still some supply issues. That's going to continue for a while. Whilst we're seeing the back of COVID, there is still some disruption in supplies. Shipping rates are coming down, but interest rates are high, and some businesses did not survive the pandemic. So there's some shifting around taking place. On the whole, I would say we have managed, to have not had any major disruption from supplies. But it's not what it was pre-pandemic. But we continue to, work at that. It means you have to carry additional inventory, which is at additional cost. So we have found that our costs have gone up in order to service our customers and our clientele, because we have to carry more inventory.
What about inflation? Because that's been the other killer, both locally and in the US.
Yes.
How's
You
that
see, a
affecting
lot
you?
of people think that business people love inflation because prices go up, but what they fail to realize that it takes more money to buy the same amount of products. So your working capital increase, your interest costs. The governments around the world have, not just Jamaica, have increased the cost of money. So interest costs have gone up. Interest costs have almost doubled in Jamaica. So the cost of money is very high now. So our costs have gone up, and you can't necessarily pass on the full extent of these costs to the consumers. So it's challenging times, but we have seen this before. It's nothing unusual. We'll get through this. We just have to continue to be at the wheel and be vigilant and get the job done. But it's not, when prices go up, it doesn't just affect consumers, it also affects businesses, because
So
we have
to
to
what
find more money to buy the same amount of inventory.
to what extent have you passed on those price increases?
Um, I would say some have not been passed on at all, some 50%, Some have to pass the full extent of the price increase on because the margins are so low. So it varies depending on the item and how much inventory you had and what the trends are. Some prices are coming down, but it's nowhere near what it used to be pre-pandemic, because I said costs have gone up in businesses. So um, we're still seeing that, it's not going to go back to what it was before.
As a business owner, Derrick, how do you manage that? Because it's a delicate balance deciding when to increase prices and to what extent to increase prices. We do have entrepreneurs who watch the show who try to figure it out for themselves as well. Maybe you could offer some guidance as to how you approach it there at Derrimon.
Well, I want to say it's a precise science. One thing is, I'm going to be very frank, you have to make sure you stay in business. So you have to make sure you watch your costs and are covering your costs. Because if you don't cover your costs, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be out of business. In the same breath, you have to ensure that the consumers will be willing to pay the price that you want to offer. Um, and what I'd also say, you have to diversify your sourcing. You have to look at ways to cut your costs, because it'll be very difficult for you to pass on the full cost to your consumers. So if you want to remain above ground, you have to do a lot of different stuff, including diversifying your suppliers. You have to be also willing to make less money, because that's how business is. The trajectory is in most business not always in one direction going up. It's going to have a little bit of bumps and blips, and so you have to be realistic and expect some of that. So the main thing I would say is make sure you can keep your head above the water, and look how best you can diversify your sources, to ensure that you can stay ahead of this.
Mm. So coming back to the acquisitions that we were discussing earlier, the objective of this interview is talking about the growth that you've experienced, and I'm seeing a parallel there. Would you say that aggressive acquisition is what's driving growth to the company right now?
Yes and no, because we do have some organic growth. We constantly look for businesses that can add strategically to us. Not all our acquisitions is done for revenue growth. Sometimes it's strategic, like Spice Hill. We thought was a good opportunity. It's not a lot of revenue per se, but what we are going to do with Spice Hill is going to turn it into a very big enterprise. We saw that opportunity. The fact that that company produces authentic, unique products from Jamaica that has strong demand. So we're increasing the supply of those products, and we're launching new products under the Spice Hill brand. So we don't just look to grow from acquisition. We also do some organic growth with existing businesses. For example, um, virtually every single one of our supermarkets and wholesale have grown 2023 over 2022. Other parts it has to compensate because other parts of the business may be going through challenges, and so you have to look for opportunities elsewhere. But we are a growing company. We have a lot of young people working with us who are anxious to prove themselves, and we do a lot of homegrown um, development of talent. We also like to expose our young people to senior management. So we are happy to grow the business so that we can accommodate more people in our employment, and also opportunities for them to be in management.
But is the increase in revenues the result of
Mhm.
people paying more because inflation is high, prices are going up, or is it that you're actually selling more items?
Yeah, it's a combination of both. Yes, there's some inflation, but inflation slowed down a bit 2022 over 2023. For 2021, 22, inflation was higher. So it's more real growth as opposed to just inflation, um, in most cases. Um, Also, to be totally honest, there are some businesses that have been flat, going through their own challenges. Um, and so the new supermarket in particular would have helped us to grow the business some more. Um, that new supermarket is nowhere near its full potential yet. We have had a very slow rollout, sorting out some teething pains, but happily those have been sorted out, and we managed to go through these teething pains without affecting the service we give to our customers. But we want to make sure we got that store right. So For example, that store will have a tech store that's going to be something similar to what you'll have as a Best Buy in the United States.
Oh,
We have nothing like that in Jamaica. So yes, we haven't really rolled that store out yet in a big way. We are
and this
partnering
is the
with
store
some
in
local
Clarendon, right?
partners. That's a store in Clarendon, yes. We decided to use a mezzanine as a part of the store rather than storage as was designed earlier. And that is going to be a wonderful tech store. So Jamaica will have a first world type tech and appliance store right there in Maypen, which is just less than an hour from Kingston and less than an hour from Mandeville, right in the middle of the island. And we expect to generate a lot of income from that business as we roll it out. Also starting probably end of September. It's up now, but we're just working through some stuff and really get it launched towards the last quarter of the year, October, November, December. So we have set the base for a stronger, better company, and so we plan to continue to grow. So even without doing other acquisitions, there are innovations in terms of product expansion, as I mentioned in Spice Hill, and with Select Grocers, we're going to have Select Tech, which will start off being in Maypen, and we're going to roll it out in some other stores as we do some realignment and of our Select brand and of our Select stores.
So are you done with acquisitions for now, or are you still eyeing other potential companies to acquire?
We evaluate every opportunity independently and make a decision. So I can't tell you we're looking at anything specifically now, but we never stop looking.
Okay, fair enough. Let's take some questions from the audience. There are quite a few. So several people asking about dividends. Shelly Ann says, just tell me how much of the money shareholders are getting.
I can't answer that question directly as a decision by the board and the finance committee, but I like to be very straightforward. The challenge that Derrimon will have with dividends, generally speaking, when we do pay dividends, is not a very big dividends, I'm being totally honest, is the fact that we're in a rapid growth mode. Companies that tend to pay higher dividends are companies that are more mature and are using their cash, just turning over and continuing the business. But a lot of the earnings that we make, we reinvest in the business to make it bigger and stronger. So I'll be very honest with you, as a policy and based on direction we're going, we're not going to pay heavy dividends, but we do pay dividends from time to time. I can't say when the next dividends will be paid. That's a board decision, and it'll be remiss of I'll be going out on a limb and speaking out of turn if I have to say so. But we want to reward our loyal shareholders with dividends, but I just want to warn that it's not going to be heavy dividends because we're growing the business. So, we'll get the gains otherwise.
When last have you paid dividends?
I think we paid dividends 2 years ago. I may be wrong, but I think it's 2 years ago. Yeah. 2 years ago. I think it would have been 2020 or 2021. Don't hold me to it. It's one of those 2 years.
I don't know if you can answer this next question. It comes from Earl, who wants to know what's dragging down the stock price.
I'm not an expert in the stock market. It's not the performance of the company. I think generally speaking, the stock prices in Jamaica are a little depressed now. The market isn't doing as well as it should. That's not necessarily unique to Jamaica, but if it is on performance, I think the stock price should be going up. So, but I'm no expert on the stock market. I'll be honest with you. I run the business. I'm not an expert in the share prices. I apologize. I probably should know more, but I'll be honest with you.
No, that's why
I stay in my lane. My focus is running the business. I run it well.
I don't know if you can answer that question because, as you know, you're running a company. You're not in charge of what the stock price does. That's something that we typically ask our analysts. So, next question comes from NanoSense, who says, "Are you going to set up a similar store like the one in the state in Canada, GTA to be exact, Greater Toronto area?"
Yes, we intend to grow out in North America. We are even looking at the community of Brampton as we speak. Um, but that's very, very early days. But we do intend to grow our business in the North American region. So Toronto, Atlanta, um, Washington, Philadelphia, of course, down South Florida. We intend to be in these locations in the not too distant future. We're looking for those opportunities, and when those come up, we will certainly make use of them.
Next question comes from Damien, who wants to know, where can I get the Ram It Up? Where is it available for sale?
It's available in quite a few supermarkets, certainly in some parts and select grocery store, but it's going to be in most locations island-wide. There's a challenge in filling the inventory, but we have been doing better at it because the company was closed down when we bought it, and so we have had to be working to bring the production up to the level it was. We are pretty much there now. Unfortunately, we do quite a bit of exports, so unfortunately we can't sell everything here in Jamaica, but some is available. I know it's at some parts and select, and there are some other locations island-wide that you'll get it.
Okay, I don't see any other question. Well, we do have a few more. I'll take one final question from our viewers. Crypto King wants to know, do you have any plans for Mandeville, Manchester? I heard you talking about a tech store when I joined. That store is in Clarendon. Is it in Maypen?
We want to open up our tech once we organize and get the concept right in Maypen. We want to roll out these tech stores around the island. But we are very careful in what we do. We want to get it right, and so we started in Maypen. We want to put a select or Sampars. We have Sampars in Mandeville, but it's a very small outlet. We're looking for an opportunity to build a proper, bigger supermarket / wholesale in that area, and the tech store will be part of it. So yes, when that opportunity come, we'll be jumping at it. But it's a short drive from Mandeville to Maypen, and I assure you that you'll be the experience in Select Maypen is very pleasant. So you can take your family with you and enjoy the ambience and everything that is there for our Mandeville consumers. And the road will soon be finished, so it will take less than half an hour to get there in a short time.
Much less than half an hour, because it's like half an hour drive now.
You say, Khalil, I drive at the speed limit,
Yeah. No, on the new toll road, Maypen to Mandeville is supposed to be 15 minutes.
Whoa, see there? Great.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
The Mandeville people will be getting there even quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. I didn't realize it was going to be that short, but yes.
So I'm saying, let's see when it opens. Supposed to open any day now.
Yes, we'll see.
Well, thank you so much, Derrick. Congratulations and good luck on all your new ventures. We look forward to hearing more.
Thank you, Kalila, and thank you, listeners, and thank you, Jamaica, for your continued support. We are very happy that we are here serving you. And on behalf of the team at Derrimon Trading, we just want to tell Jamaica thanks and say have a wonderful day.
Good stuff.